Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
From Cafeteria Film Studios in Little Havana, Phresh presents Que Hola, where we talk to various movers and hustlers who are popping off and succeeding in the 305 and at the same time influencing the culture. I'm your boy D Fig. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. Ew. Yo, it's your boy D Fig. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. I hope everybody out there is having a wonderful fall season. Happy Thanksgiving and all that good stuff to you guys, man. In this week's episode, we sat down with a really cool person, a representative for Help for the People, which is an organization that caters food for various events and at the same time provides meals to the homeless in South Florida. The people behind this organization are very much dedicated to helping the underprivileged people in South Florida, people who have food insecurity, et cetera, et cetera. And it was just a really good talk. Without further ado, I want to get into this talk. This was really cool. Listo. So we're in another episode of the Que Hola podcast.
Que hola.
Que hola, mi gente. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself at whatever time of the day you're listening or watching this. In the studio today, special guest, Help for the People. Shout out to Help for the People.
Yes.
One of the dopest charities in South Florida right now, putting on for the less fortunate. In the studio, Mr. Prince, representative for Help for the People. How you doing, man?
Doing well. It's good to be here with you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming and spending your time with us and basically sharing with us your experience to get you to get more ears and eyes on this particular cause that you guys are working for. I came into contact with you through like various nightclub things that I do with Strange Bass Media and Phresh. And when we came into contact with a charity, I was just like taken aback by like the numbers, the sheer numbers of what it is that you guys are doing, right? That was the first thing that like I was like, damn, because I know there's a lot of charities, right? But when I first initially heard how you guys are just like cutting through the red tape and you're just like doing it like rain, snow, whatever it might come, hurricane, I was totally impressed. So tell me, how did you guys started down this path? How do you start down this charity path?
Well, my partner, who likes to remain anonymous.
Okay.
They approached me and they were like, "Hey, I've been feeding the homeless for the last year. Myself, I have been doing a lot of those same types of activities a couple of years back. So, and I haven't really deviated from that, but I had taken more or less a hiatus, and I did, really got into some books to really understand how to do exactly what you said, cut through a lot of that red tape. So like I do want to clarify, we're not a non-for-profit charity. We're what's called a benefit corporation, and this is where like it kind of gets into the more of the business aspects of things, because the wealthier people, the wealthier entrepreneurs and business owners, they're looking at the rules and how they could cut through a lot of the red tape so that way they can make more money, and accomplish their purpose. So what helped us to do part of what we're doing is, number one, being a for-profit corporation that is a benefit corporation. So all of our proceeds goes to the purpose of, our monthly food drive. Yes, the numbers are kind of impressive. We feel that the numbers are a little small. We're feeding about 150 plus people every month. We're getting them clothing, we're getting them water. In some instances, we're getting them a little bit of assistance. And, compassion is something that you can't find as a commodity in any market, But thankfully, with some of the legislation that's been pushed out, as a benefit corporation, we can do that, and with more assistance from, people like yourself, Phresh, big ups.
Thanks.
And, our partners over with Strange Media Base, at our monthly clothing drive, they help us out. That's also another way. And we're keeping it very socially minded, like, we're taking advantage of our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're also on LinkedIn because we are a professional organization at the same time. We're providing catering services, and that's also what allows us to really do it too. If we weren't a catering service, we really couldn't feed anybody the quality kind of food that we do. you know. So shout out the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We going to say it like that. You know, big ups to the kitchen, for always holding it down, always making sure that they put a lot of love, you know, as the secret key ingredient to all the meals that are prepared.
Yeah, I mean, that is that twist. Okay, so the way that you guys go about doing it, where it's just like we're not just going out there asking for donations continuously. We're gonna put in work, but from the work that we're putting in, we're gonna dedicate a certain amount to help the underfortunate people here in South Florida.
Right.
I mean, bro, that touches on so many different aspects. You know what I'm saying? How corporates could also benefit from not only helping the more less impoverished, but helping the community in general,
Right.
right? Because as you thrive, so does your community,
Absolutely.
right? And as your community thrives, so do you.
Yes.
You know, so basically, if you're gonna be somebody who's based in South Florida, such as i.e. like Carnival or one of these major like Royal
Right.
Caribbean major corporations that are headquartered here,
Sports teams, we won't mention any
sports
names.
teams, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you don't want to see this plight on the city. You know,
No.
it's very. Have you traveled out west recently to like California
No,
out there?
I've never been past west of Texas.
Okay.
I am a New York native, though. I'm
All right.
originally from New York City. Being homeless is actually something that touches very close to home. Several instances throughout my life,
Yeah,
you know, I've experienced
homelessness.
poverty.
Yeah.
You know, and more so, not so much in the sense of what we look out onto the streets of, you know, Hialeah, Overtown, Little Haiti, Wynwood, Alapata. It's not so much that homelessness, but it's also another breed of homelessness where people are in homes and can't afford to stay there. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of these families, they end up doing a lot of traveling. So for a large percentage of my life, you know, especially in New York, there was a movement, you know, a very frequent movement. And that's not to try to pull any emotional strings or anything. It's just to say that when you're in a dangerous environment, sometimes the best thing to do is to move.
Yeah.
You know, so the issues also of homelessness is that it affects any city in that's of big magnitude.
Populations,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just always, you know, the common cycle, you know, and especially when you look at the areas of the city where the wealthier classes of people are, you'll find that the more homeless people are also around them.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, you know, like partly because of course if you have a wealthier class of people, they also have wealthier restaurants, higher quality of food, even if it's in a dumpster. You know what I mean? So they're taking the low hanging fruit, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that homelessness really touches on and really dwells upon is the fact that it's one of these topics that's very much intertwined with a lot of other topics. So, I mean, the government, politicians generally trying to steer away from it because it's like one big bomb. You're not only dealing with homelessness, you're also dealing with like mental health issues.
Yes.
You're also
A lot of mental health issues.
you know, like and combined with the homelessness, you're dealing with drug abuse. So you're dealing with a lot of different issues all at the same time, which you need a lot of resources for.
Yeah, you do. But in the same way that the homeless population is very resourceful, you know what I mean? Like you have to look at what it is that the homeless lifestyle, if you will, you know, because lifestyle branding seems to be a thing these days. So like if we were to brand the lifestyle of being homeless, you would see that like they're the most resourceful class of people or inhabitants in any city. They take your recycled products, they take your waste products, and they convert it into something that's useful for them.
Yeah.
You know, it is the whole one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know, and so, but like, you know, one of the things that I like about what we do is, as you said, like we are socially minded. We are, you know, we are entrepreneurs, and so the more, of course, the more that we are able to accomplish and to acquire, the more social good we can do. And I think that like if we more like, you know, what we're doing is reverse engineering the whole process. We're looking at what the homeless do. what their habits are, whether that be through observation or through experience. And, we're creating solutions based on that.
So like when you guys initially started, walk me through it. What were your biggest like obstacles to first deal with being able to provide certain amount of people that much food,
Right.
the clothing. At the same time, I know you probably want to provide. You see them in such dire straits that you want to provide them other things as
Right.
well, and you're like like you're thinking of new ideas. What's that process like? What
Well,
was that like?
really, it comes down to a lot of organization.
Okay.
Like looking at what my partner was doing before just required a more organizational eye. You
Okay.
know, so like it's one of those things where I'm pretty sure you've been to a lot of the homeless feedings before in the past. People arrive, and then a mass of people just like
Yeah, just
crowd.
gather around a van or
Right.
something like that.
And usually, like from my perspective and also from my experience, like anytime you have foreigners more or less coming from outside of your community, even if it's just to help, they never ever have any type of organizational structure. Very few organizations actually have that organizational structure. So like one organization that I could definitely say has that or that I learned from personally was in the military. I spent 5 years in the Navy. I got a little bit of planning and estimation under my belt. So when my partner was like, "I need your help in organizing this," I was like, "All right, like let me come." Like I want to also fill my cup by giving back to those that need it more too. So the first time before we even started incorporation or anything else like that, the first time I participated in one of the pre-monthly events, it was almost, I don't want to use the word chaos because then that's giving more energy to that to that system, but it wasn't organized. Like it was cars show up, people are crowding, and then this hodgepodge of activity going on. So one of the first things that I did was eliminate the disorganization and streamlined it. So I took my experience from running convoy and security details to how can we do a homeless detail in the same way. Instead of like guns, like we're pulling out
Yeah.
bag lunches. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, it's also still kind of fun. It's an activity in like efficiency. It's an exercise in efficiency. And after we finally did incorporate and we put that organizational streamlined process into play, like we fed over 150 people in less than 10 minutes.
Damn, that's crazy. So like, what's the process of putting all those meals together?
Oh man, it's honestly a 3-day process.
Okay.
And it goes from finally making the collection from either the community that supports us or our clients that contract us, and then once we get that, we do our grocery list, and it's usually based on like whatever meals that we've prepared for our clients. Shout out once again the kitchen for penne pasta, Brussels sprouts, whole grain, rice, mixed vegetables. We're keeping it very, very healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The portions are also very healthy and very conscious. We don't want to contribute to someone's illness. You know what I'm saying? And so like the deposit on one day, grocery list also on the same day, preparation, organization for the cooking of the food is a whole day by itself, but usually that's done on the third day, and we're just the rest of the time, like it really can take us about a full day to organize all the clothes that we get. We get a lot of clothes from so many of our friends that once again meet us over at, like when we met over at Bar Nancy. Shout out Bar Nancy. And once we get the clothing separated, men's and women's, and let me just say that for those listening, we need more women's clothes. We also need the balance, because there are more populations of men that are homeless on the street than there are women, and also mostly just because the way the programs are set up, women and infants are taken care of more than men are. It's a sad reality in this society that men get neglected in this way, but like we're not trying to make this like
Yeah, a man versus woman.
yeah,
type of
it's not a
situation.
battle of the sexes,
Yeah.
like one homeless man versus one homeless woman. Like it's not like we're doing bum fights. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like we want to avoid even that thought altogether.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a 3-day process, and the third day, a lot of food gets cooked. A lot of food gets boxed up and then bagged up, and then it becomes a process of transporting it from our commercial kitchen into the city. And then we're meeting up with everyone, and that's like a 45-minute long process too,
Yeah.
just to get everybody in one location. Here's what the plan of action is. This is what we're gonna do first and foremost. Remember, we're helping people. Now let's go get the work.
More or less, how many volunteers do you guys get together on each food drive?
We've been lucky because really you should have like one person to every 10 people,
Okay.
but we're operating almost below that, and we have about 8 consistent dedicated volunteers every month. Also with the Strange Bass team, also with some other DJs that they work with. And so, yeah, like we have 8 people, and usually we're only operating with about 2 vehicles at the very most, and we make that thing work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man, it's crazy because like underpoverished and like homeless people in South Florida, it's really not. They're really underserved.
Yeah.
Like other places in the country have more resources allocated towards affordable housing,
More shelters.
rehab,
Yeah.
shelters, things along that nature. Over here, it's more about they have rehab, but all those rehab are for like private insurance, et cetera, et cetera. It's not they maybe once in a blue moon provide like a scholarship to like one of those centers. It's like a scholarship or like they
A
provide
sponsorship.
A sponsorship.
They
that's
give
what
them
not
it's a
scholarship,
sponsorship.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
A sponsorship
But
to one of the rehab centers. So it's like South Florida in general is very underserved. And you guys do it through both corporate and at the same time serving the community and serving the impoverished. How do you guys go about finding clients for the corporate side? Is that something that you guys go to the corporations like, look, a portion of your proceeds are going to be used for this, and are you straightforward with that? How
Yes.
how do you guys work with that?
Well, we're very, very blunt with it.
Okay.
Like but we're usually being contracted through word of mouth.
Okay.
We're primarily focusing on events,
Mm-hmm.
production events, media, because they have a shorter period of time in city,
Okay.
but they have a higher demand. So yeah, we look at that, and we do tell them, a portion of our proceeds goes to this charitable purpose, but oftentimes, and I mean, quite frankly, a lot of people are not too concerned with that. They're
Yeah.
more like, I'm looking for someone to cook.
Yeah.
And we're like,
They don't
hey,
care
they don't,
about-
they don't really
about
care.
the good side of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But
Crazy.
but at the same time, after the meal has been cooked and they're actually sitting down and they're eating the food, they go into asking. You're usually asking my partner, like, hey, like, what are you doing this for? Like, what's this all about? Oh, I'm raising money every time I do this just to feed the homeless, and people are like blown away by that because our cook she's been working real hard at doing what she does.
Yeah.
Big heart, lots of love, super compassionate.
Yeah.
And that's something that that it's not a selling point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just it's a point of inspiration.
Yeah, it's genuine.
It's very genuine. It's also very sincere. And so like our clients are, while usually they don't have no interest in helping us feed the homeless at the very beginning, after they eat, they're like, well, I'm glad we paid this money because
Yeah.
now I feel good. We're still working. Every staff is taken care of.
They get a double good feeling.
And then
at
it's
the end
like,
of the
oh
day.
man, like wow, we're also doing something for the community and don't even know it.
Yeah.
So like I think that's also a way that we're kind of changing the game too, because even if people realize it or not, like once again, like food and food industry is one of those areas where it's like people don't really care. It's just a cranking system, but the benefit to us being a benefit corporation is that we can give it a purpose, where a lot of other corporations aren't. They say that they have a purpose, that or all of a sudden they come out of nowhere, when relief aid needs to be sent, and for them it's a tax benefit.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Charity within the commercial sense or the corporate sense is about taxes.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have to be. And the way I look at it is that charity is is the compassionate form of chlamydia. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying? So, eventually, we're going to get to a point where, the company is doing so well. This is our ambition, that the company is doing so well that if you're on your Robert Kiyosaki and you're on your cash flow system, the cash flow is just going to make it happen, And 150 people, let's be honest, it's really not a lot of people.
For you to be able to put all those meals together and hand them out, 150 all at one time, that's an accomplishment. I was like, I don't think I could. I've done meal prep, you know what I'm saying? And I do meal prep, and I barely put together 7 meals. You know,
it's this is exhausting.
It's what the fuck? This is 7 meals. I'm about to die right now.
But to us, when I say that we've done it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've done it over. It's been done over the period of 10 months. You know what I'm saying? So that means over 1,000 meals have already been prepared well before we even got incorporated.
Yeah.
So for us, the bigger number is really the goal. You know what I'm saying? 150 to some might seem daunting, it might seem overwhelming, but we're really just getting started.
What is it? Where are you guys trying to get to? On meal preparation?
What's your preparation?
Goal?
We really want to get to the point where we're doing the monthly food drives 4 times a month.
Okay.
So 4 times 150. I'm not going to try and calculate that.
Yeah.
But
about 600 people.
About 600 people.
Yeah.
But we're actually trying to do 305 in the 305 every single time.
Okay. At least.
And once again, thankfully, now that we're our company is also growing, we're also able to we're becoming more mobile.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing more events throughout the week, which means that even when in other countries they're making it to a requirement where restaurants have to donate their leftover foods to the homeless. Instead of us having to have leftovers or see it as leftovers, we already know that we have an excess of food, and so we've already kind of taken that into consideration. So we're overcooking, not with the point, not for the purposes of being wasteful, but because we know that our clients aren't going to be able to eat everything. And once again, the same quality meal that they get, the people...
You pack it up and you give it to the homeless.
Yes.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So out in the streets, when you're providing a meal or something like that, hungry, I'm sure you've come across some crazy stuff and crazy requests. What is it? What is it that... What's been your experience of dealing with people who are genuinely in the deepest part of their life, not only emotionally, but also psychologically, also, physically,
Well, the common misconception that a lot of people have is that homelessness is not a choice.
What do you mean?
So, people oftentimes think of it as something that just happens.
Okay.
Through a series of unfortunate events, people get forced out onto the streets. Oftentimes, it's not necessarily the case. A couple of months back, we were meeting outside the Miami Rescue Mission. That's usually where we meet every month, right?
Okay.
Outside, not inside the Miami Rescue Mission. They have their own thing going on. We're our own thing as well. But they, shout outs to Miami Rescue Mission. They let us meet up.
Okay.
So, and right down the street from where the rescue mission is, there was this gentleman that I met who was, taking slow strolls in a wheelchair. He was, pushing himself in reverse, and we were letting him know, hey, we got some clothes and we got some food we're about to put out for you guys. If you're hungry, come on over. And somehow we got into the conversation about, how he got there. And he was like, oh, no, man, don't feel bad for me because I'm homeless. This was a choice. You know what I'm saying? And And for me, I understood that because as a child growing up in New York, one of the common things that you experience riding the subway is the homeless come onto the subway cars and they solicit for charity. At least that would be the way I would put it.
Yeah.
So the one of the hardest lessons I ever had to learn about poverty, my cousin, who's a little bit more of a tougher New York kind of guy, he goes, "Nah, you can't always be ready to extend what's in your pocket to the people on the street because it's a choice, you know." And that always stuck with me from like age 9 all the way up to my present day. And so like there I was having this conversation with this gentleman. He says, "No, don't feel bad because I'm out here. Like this was a choice. I let crack destroy me." He says, "In fact, it destroyed me so much I wrote a book about it." And I was like, "Get out of here." He goes, "Nope, you can look it up. You can look me up. It's on Amazon. Crack is my God." And
Crack is my guy.
No, it's my God. Crack is my God. I
Crack
said,
is my guy. So a homeless dude wrote a book
homeless
about
dude wrote a book
being addicted to crack.
about being addicted to crack, and it was he did an excellent job of explaining, through his experience, just what it was that happened. Like in the book, he also gives some details about his family. I won't, like if you find the book on Amazon, like I don't really want to say his name because but you'll find the book on Amazon. You'll be able to find the author right like that, and he was telling me how he didn't want too much publicity about it. Although I'm hoping that in promoting his book, and also in the experience of where he's at now, crack isn't his God anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if even through this shameless plug, if this man's able to get a little bit of publicity and some people go and like check out his book and understand his story a little bit more, not only will they, be thoroughly entertained, but they'll be well educated into like how some people make the choice into becoming homeless.
And those experiences.
And so like, like that's, like it, yes, it's important that we go out with a sense of compassion and empathy. But at the same time, we have to recognize exactly what we're dealing with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody comes up to you, you're out there helping them, but they're just like still, like going through an episode or whatever. How do you deal with that? Because like that's primarily what I would assume. A lot of people want to expose their kids, and younger siblings or whatnot to doing charitable goods and doing good things for the community, et cetera, and so feeding the homeless would be something that would fall within those lines. But they're also most of the time like afraid of having to deal with one of those experiences and not knowing how to deal with it, I
mean, that's really what parents are looking to do when they bring their children to a charitable event like that. They're using the fear principle as a way of guiding or diverting their children into that lifestyle of poverty. You know what I mean? It's a form of negative reinforcement. But it works.
At the same time, it works.
Exactly.
It works, and you're at the same time helping those people who are in that situation.
Yes. And so like like that's the reason why once again like you have to really like step back and like look at the cycle of homelessness or like diversions towards poverty as well, and why certain people are seeking to avoid poverty. It also speaks very highly about how we are as a society. Like very rarely are we actually inspired by from within to do something for someone else without and make it selfless.
It's hard. It's hard.
It is very hard, and I think that it's one thing to say that you're being altruistic. And then another thing to really just have an ulterior motive.
Have you guys thought about using your corporation that's both benefit to for profit and nonprofit? Have you guys thought about expanding it into other realms, like doing events where you raise the funds through that, or like I don't know, even like selling merchandise or something along those lines that would be able to provide funding for for other ideas? I'm sure that you don't want to stop just at providing for
absolutely
food
not.
security.
So like the food is one thing, for those who are not watching us on video,
Yeah.
we got water.
Okay.
Water is one area of merchandise that we're in. We're going to expand into other areas. We're already an event catering staff.
Okay.
We're very small right now, but
Mhm.
once again, as we grow, and of course, the bigger the client, the bigger we
I
can
mean, you
provide.
guys should do your own event. If you're an event catering
Right.
staff, you should put together your own event.
You're right,
and like
but
use a lot of those proceeds, man. That would be
but
wonderful.
you're right, but
And
in
I'd
the
be down to
sense
throw
that
down too.
you're not. Well, we definitely got to do something.
Yeah.
But we're not into the traditional form of fundraising because that falls into how nonprofits operate.
Okay.
So nonprofits are soliciting for free donation, like cash donations. That's what they're looking for. Because we are for profit, like it comes down to the expression, man don't work, man don't eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, the company
So-
would be working for the event. You get a slice
Exactly.
of the bar.
So-
You get
and
a
that's-
slice of everything.
and
else.
that's what we're doing. So like we're partnering up with local galleries, local events, local production, media companies, and like that's the way that we're doing it. We have several events coming up during the next few months, November, Basel timeframe, all the way up until January, where we're going to be a part of some large events. It's going to be pretty big scale. So and our clients are also, now that they're more aware of our 25% to the charitable purpose, are saying, well, we're gonna put 25% with you.
Yeah.
So it's like,
they wanna
all right,
match.
yeah, and like,
Wow.
and so like that's a way better tool, to work versus like just saying like, oh, like, give us some money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, we're going to work for this. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you believe in feeding the homeless or not, we're going to work for this.
Yeah.
And we're going to do what we want to do, which is to go out and help 50 plus people, get some food, get some water, get some clothes, and whatever else it is that we can get them,
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's a friend of mine posted today, I'm coming for everything they told me I couldn't get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is our way of doing that.
Yeah, and the small opportunity of window that you have to connect with these people who are less fortunate or are in this situation. How do you first deal? How do you talk? Do you teach the people who are there providing these services how to interact
Yes.
with that particular population?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not necessarily a teaching,
Okay.
like, it's just more so reminding,
Okay.
like, hey, remember that, like, one of the first things that we do is, after I, like, give, like, the whole spiel on, like, how we're going to move as a convoy, once all that information is presented, what I'd like to do is just, like, have everybody take a moment of silence just to be considerate and thankful for what it is that they have in their life. Like, now, from the moment that you start thinking about, like, what it is that you have in your life to appreciate, I like to remind you, we're gonna go help people who don't have anything close to what it is that you're appreciative of right now. The job that you bitch about, the gas bill, the light bill, the Wi-Fi, the grocery bill, the laundry bill, all these things that so many of us, that all of us take for granted. I like to remind people we're going out to help people who don't have that.
So and that kind of like checks them, and that automatically.
Because like when you remember that you're dealing with people, you know what I mean? Like, and not animals. If we went out there and we thought that we were dealing with animals and we just like created like this animal farm, style feeding, like we're just throwing food in a trough and the pigs just come and just like start rooting, like that's what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? So like it requires having that organization of thought, organization of intention, and then organization of action. It's really just that simple.
Yeah. And what are the plans for the future right now?
next month, October, I forget the date, the second Sunday of October, we're going to be doing the monthly food drive again. The first Sunday of next month, we're going to be back at Bar Nancy.
Is it how so the monthly food drive is at the beginning of each month?
The monthly food drive is the second Sunday of every month. The
Second
clothing
Sunday.
drive is the first Sunday of every month. So that way, like, hey, if you want to drop off clothes, come drop off clothes. You know, some people can't make it all the time to come and volunteer, but after they drop off clothes, some people are like, I do have the time to come out and volunteer some time. When's the next event? Second Sunday, you know? So then they meet us over, once again, at Miami Rescue Mission on the second Sunday around 4 o'clock, and then we make our move.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
If people want to get in contact with you and like reach out to you, talk to you about like how to collab and help and stuff like that, how do they get in contact with you? Or with the organization?
Keep it, I mean, we have a website, you know, shout out Oscar Diaz, you know, for putting our website together, helpforthepeople.com. You can go there. If you're interested in making non-cash donations, please feel free to hit the donate button. We'll arrange a pickup of your goods, or a drop off of our water, because we are selling water.
Okay, so you guys sell water, but you also pick up the clothing and
Yep.
the food and things
We'll
along
pick
that
up
nature?
clothing, canned goods, any non-cash, any non-perishable goods. Mostly what we really want from our friends, from our families, from the local community and supporters is toiletries. And right now, more than anything, with the weather changing, I know, like, you know, you look outside and Miami's just beautiful palm trees. It doesn't look like it's horrible, but it's getting colder. You know, so we're also asking for people to start helping us with unwanted blankets, you know, linen, any type of sheets, you know, warm weather gear, toiletries, deodorant, shaving equipment, you know, powderless shampoos, toothpaste, toothbrushes. What else am I missing? I think that pretty much covers it. Everything that you would put on your face, your armpits, you know,
your body,
your 1,001 body parts. You know,
Yeah.
that's really what we're looking for right now. As far as non-cash support. If you do want to make a cash donation, please also same button. You can make a cash donation. If you're looking to reach out to us, we are social. So we're on Instagram, you know, Help for the People, at Help for the People. If you're on Facebook, we are also on Facebook, Help for the People, same way. And we're also on LinkedIn for anyone who's looking for a quality private catering and water distribution service that is socially minded, is looking to share some love and continue to help the people.
What's the help LinkedIn for like the corporations to be able to get in this and like challenge them to match the donation? What would that, like, what's your LinkedIn specifically for that?
So LinkedIn is Help for the People.
Okay.
All right. Our challenge to other corporations, I mean, is really like start matching us.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not even match us, but you know, you got corporate funds. We know you got corporate funds. You get allocated an additional amount of money every year for your budget. If you're not meeting it, like, you're losing money. So, you know, use some of that extra budget money. Sponsor a food drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, send us the funds. We'll put more food into the streets. You know, send us some more money. We'll put more water into the streets. If your company is not doing it, we'll partner.
Okay, so you're willing to partner with major
Oh yeah,
corporations.
absolutely.
And I mean, you know, obviously they're gonna want a little shine for that.
No, I mean,
being able to provide that, you guys are willing to do that, all that.
I mean, if it's gonna take little guys like us, you know, if we're gonna be the David in this corporate Goliath system, then sure, let's do it. You know, we got our slingshots ready. You know, except we ain't slinging rocks. We slinging food. You know,
That's
slinging
good,
some
man.
love. You know.
I mean, a lot of these corporations want to be able to look charitable and look like they're caring for the people. And
Right.
at least with the situation where you guys are at, even if they want to or not, they're actually doing it. Like genuinely, they would be feeding people, like,
Yeah.
and you could provide them like video proof and
Absolutely.
things like that their
I mean,
donations are going straight to the people's mouths and things like that.
Take it a step further. Corporate CEOs, CFOs, presidents, vice presidents, directors, all of that. You know, treasurers and secretaries. Come on out. You know, volunteer your time. Put your boots on the ground. You know, there's nothing beats the feeling of what we do at the end of the day. You know, like, yes, we have a corporate purpose, but we're very socially driven. And at the end of the day, like when we're finished and we're looking on what it is that we did, and sitting back, bottles of water, cups of whatever else is on the table, the same meal that we prepared for everyone else, it's a high, And this is a high that money cannot buy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to fill your cup off of taking care of someone else, and they can't ever repay you for it, like regardless of how much they might try to, like they could never ever give back to you. That's truly selfless, So come on out and do that. Not to mention, there was something else I wanted to mention too. I guess it slipped my mind. It wasn't that important. But
it'll come up.
It'll come back. It'll come back.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. I appreciate you for coming through, talking to us, letting us know.
Thank you for having us.
No problem, man. Thank you for letting us know how a small organization like yourselves are growing exponentially and providing so many meals and providing so many services to the underprivileged people here in South Florida, Miami, people that we truly love, that for some reason, whether it be their own fault or not, are in that dire situation where they need some food, man, and we're in such a beautiful city, such a beautiful country. Shouldn't people be having to go through not being able to eat and things like that?
Right. I mean, I think we're also helping to change the face of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the next 3 to 5 years, we're gonna be a much bigger organization. We're gonna have a lot more, even media production. We're gonna grow with you.
For
you
sure.
know what I'm saying? So, we can. This is our opportunity as in South Florida to show the rest of the world, hey, we're not just sun, skin, and sin.
Yeah, sun, skin, and sin. We got some compassion out here.
Absolutely,
we
some
take
sincerity.
Care of our own.
Absolutely, we do take care of our own. So it's also a great way for us to continue to support local. We're some of our. Yeah, I think that was also what it was. If you're a restaurant, you're looking to put water into your establishment. You don't want the expense anymore, call us. Hit us up, chime us online. We'll supply you guys with water, Understand when you selling our water, you're helping us put that, 25% to the purpose.
Yeah.
I get so excited, I start stuttering.
So proceeds will go to the purpose of helping people out of underprivileged people in South Florida.
Yes, indeed.
That's good, man. It's a win-win situation. Well, until the next time, you guys know what it is. Thank you so much once again for Mr. Prince for coming through, letting us know what it is with the help of the people. If you like the podcast, please share it with your friends. If you hated the podcast, please share it with your enemies. But just share this motherfucker because we love y'all.
Rah, 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 rah.
If you'd like to get in contact with Help for the People, their IG page is Help for the People. They also sell bottled water to fundraise, to also provide meals for the underprivileged and the homeless in South Florida. And if you would like to help or anything along those lines, feel free to reach out to them. They'll receive you with their arms open. Thank you so much once again, you guys. I love you for listening and tuning in and sharing and all that good stuff. The podcast has grown, and I really appreciate everybody who's listening. Hasta la próxima. You know what it is. It's your boy D-Fig. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. We out here repping. It's all good, baby. Yeet. Peace.